Welcome to this men's fragrance channel. Today I've got a winter list for you. I've got 10 and one honorable mention, and I'm going to go from my favorite to my top favorite. You seem to like that, so I'll just continue doing that. For me, a good winter fragrance for men would be something that has got a bit of this dark, moody scent, often amber or a bit more spice in a fragrance. I love to smell a tad bit sweetness in a winter fragrance. I think it's very sexy. So these are the fragrances that I'm recommending to you. Although the first one, the honorable mention, it's quite the opposite. That's why it's an honorable mention though, because I've recently come across the new Michael Kors Pour Homme fragrance, and I wanted to give it a little bit of a shout out because in my opinion, this fragrance, it's just a good designer manly fragrance that you've smelled so many times before. But what I really appreciate though about this fragrance is that it's strong, it's aquatic, it's tones of lavender, and it's super masculine, and it just becomes deeper and deeper when it's on the skin, and it's got something magical. It's like this good fragrance that you've smelled before, but they've done it a bit better, and I really like it. This is a safe bet of a fragrance, and I think before long it will be at discounters for a very good price. So I love it if you want like an everyday fragrance that has got a bit more depth. It's still a freshie, you could wear it in the spring, summer, but this one, the marineness, it's a bit deeper, denser, woodier, and I think it would also be appropriate even for the winter time, and it's just a nice manly scent. Now let's start with a number 10 on this list, and it is Azzaro, the Most Wanted. I love the Azzaro Most Wanted scents, or the wanted scents. I think they have just nailed down the DNA for me. It just makes me smile when I smell it. It's one of those fragrances that, you know, I think, oh my gosh, another Azzaro scent. It all just smell the same, but they manage to top themselves again and again. And pretty much any, if I'm being honest, any wanted scent from Azzaro will do it for you. You'll get compliments, you'll get attention for your scent. They're long lasting, they smell fabulous. They've got tons of spice. This one in particular, I love the cardamom in here. It's in all my favorite men's fragrances. I think cardamom is just one of those like the best spices for a men's fragrance. It's got a bit of like this greenery in the spice as well, and then a nice like caramelly, very woody, dense scent. So you'll just smell amazing, spicy, woody. What else do you want from fragrance? And I know from your comments that you get compliments also for this fragrance, because yeah, this is one of those fragrances that you tell me in the comments, yeah, I bought this one because of you, and I get compliments. So it's a good one if you just want to grab it, and it's always available at discounters as well, so don't buy it at full price. That is my little tip for you. Next one, we've got a fragrance that is a sexy beast of a fragrance. This is the epitome, I think you can say, of what I want in a men's fragrance. It has got warmth, but not too much sweetness. It's not like this sugar bomb. It's got a bit animalicness, which I find extremely sexy in a manly fragrance. And this is Illusion d'un Soir from Fomo Fragrances. And this reminds me quite a lot of Grand Soir from MFK, but I don't hate it. Like, I don't think this is a dupe. It's still got its own character. It's just so warming, animalic. Man, I just want to bite into this fragrance. It's a bit tobacco, it's spicy, it's just heavenly. That benzoin, it's just warming and a bit dirty. This is classy. This is like gentlemanly to me. This is romantic. This is like a guy that is a proper gentleman, and you just smell like this on a date. This is fabulous. It lasts, it projects, and it's very affordable, so no brainer. Here in the UK you can finally get it at Notino, because usually they were only available on Amazon. They're like 40 something pounds for 100 ml, so very good deal. And the scent itself, it's just so strong, so good. really, really just amazing. You know, for the longest time, I've been really searching for a fragrance that is similar to Fève Délicieuse from Dior, because that one has been discontinued. Fragrance is just the goalpost of like what fragrances should smell like. I'm like, oh, I don't want to recommend Fève Délicieuse because it's discontinued, but I want something that is close, and I found a close fragrance, and it is so good. It's the new Etat Libre d'Orange, Story of Your Life. This gives you that chocolatiness that was in Fève Délicieuse. It gives you that breadiness. It gives you booziness. It's got patchouli in here, which makes it, you know, that deep, like that's something that you want to keep on smelling. It's a proper gourmand. You literally feel like this is a dessert and you want to eat it. It gives you that ambery warmth that the Fève Délicieuse also gives you. It's one of those fragrances that definitely has got Fève Délicieuse vibes. It's not an exact dupe, but that chocolatiness is the closest that I found in a fragrance, and it's so good. So try it out and let me know what you think. But if you've loved Fève Délicieuse, try this. This is so good. Next up, we've got a designer fragrance that is perfect for winter time. It is loud, it is super masculine, and it is YSL Y. And yes, this list, I've mainly put ambery fragrances on here because I think it's very appropriate for the winter time. But I have to say that if I had to pick one blue fragrance for the winter time, this is it, the YSL Y, the Parfum or the Intense version. I love them both. They are just so strong, and they've got spiciness and they've got woodiness that just makes those fragrances still stand out even in the winter time. And the longevity and projection on these, it's so good. Like, you won't be disappointed with it. It's one of those fragrances that I would say, if you're a guy, if you are still building your fragrance collection and you haven't considered YSL Y, just get it. It works in so many different occasions. It's so versatile, and the Intense version and the Parfum are especially good for colder seasons. It's just a compliment getting fragrance, full stop. My fragrance taste is a bit all over the place. I love a good designer fragrance. I'm not like a fragrance snob that only just enjoys niche fragrances, but I also like niche fragrances if they're lasting and if they offer something just phenomenal, just something a bit different. And this fragrance in particular, I think it offers everything. And also the price point of these at discounters, it's so low that I'm kind of like almost offended. Like, I just don't know how they are so affordable. You can even get these at eBay or different places for cheaper than something like, I don't know, like a YSL fragrance, or, you know, they are just cheaper than like the cheap designer fragrances. I don't know why, because the quality in here, the juice is amazing, and this Serge Lutens fragrance, it's so good. It's Cher Gris. If you want to smell like a million bucks, if you want to smell niche for really just a designer price tag, even lower sometimes, seriously, especially here in the UK, I've seen these for like 40 something pounds. How crazy. I mean, I don't know why, because the juice is just that good. This is a honeyed, incensey tobacco fragrance with a bit of hay, and you can totally smell the hay in here. It's so fun, so grassy and dry and different. Makes this fragrance, just takes it from just, you know, an okay fragrance to, whoa, this is interesting. This is something really just beautiful and unique. Such a warming, sexy, intellectual fragrance, I would almost say. This is everything. And seriously, like, if you are somebody who's getting into niche fragrances and you are like, oh, I don't want to spend too much money on a niche fragrance yet, I'm not sure, try Cher Gris. It will just blow your mind. It will open you up to go into the niche fragrances more for not a huge price tag. This fragrance, try it out. Next up, we've got an oud, but an oud that in my opinion is not like your basic oud. This is Purple Oud from Dior, and it's not this like overwhelmingly strong oud fragrance that now seems to be everywhere, which I'm kind of bored with, because I just keep getting notifications for new releases and it's like oud rose, oud rose, oud rose. I'm like, please just stop. But this fragrance, it's something else. It's not your typical oud. This is a dry oud, but it's done with it's a fresh oud. If I was going to say like what it is, like a very fresh woody oud that is slightly smoky. It's got a bit of pink pepper in here. It's orangey as well, and you can really smell the orange in here, and it gives this fragrance this lightness. It's just this really masculine, beautiful oud. This is a guy, definitely is wearing like a shirt, and he has ironed it very well. This is like a very well put together guy. Such a good fragrance. If you like your maybe oud woods, if you like Oud Wood Tom Ford, if you like your not gentle, but not like Arabic ouds, but more of this like lighter oud, this is even fresher than Oud Wood, but there's something so magical about it. It's so refined, and it gives you that, you know, character and density in a fragrance for a winter fragrance, but it is not, you know, just cloying and like Arabic oud and all the spices like coming at you. Such a good one. If you've been watching my channel, you knew that one of L'Homme Ideal's had to be on this list, okay? At this point, I'm laughing at myself, but what can a girl do? I love what I love, and this line is so good. It has to be on nearly every single list. This time I've put the extreme version of L'Homme Ideal on this list because I find this the most tobacco intense. It's also the most spicy and honeyed out of all the almondy sort of L'Homme Ideals. This scent, it's a bit boozy. It's so delicious, but fresh at the same time. That tobacco is super masculine and straight to the point. Like, you just can't go wrong with L'Homme Ideal. You'll smell like the sexiest guy in a room. It's one of my favorite designer fragrance lines. It's just that good, okay? You can compare it to anything. Like, it's just top of the top. L'Homme Ideal Extend. The bottle is different now though, so don't be scared. It's not a dupe or anything, it's just a different bottle now. Now for the top three, the third fragrance on this list, it's one that I just can't stop myself from loving. This fragrance, from the first time I smelled it, it was over for me, and it's still that way. There's something so magnetic about this fragrance, and I know sometimes I talk about fragrances in superlatives and like amazing, but fragrances are amazing in my opinion, but this fragrance, it's just that good. It's Cuir Sacré from Atelier Des Ors. I've told you before that at this point I should be like an ambassador for Cuir Sacré because I've talked about it for so long. This is the sexiest dry woody saffron scent for men. This is better than my all-time favorite Oud Wood fragrance, but it's more expensive and it's not as widely available, so I don't talk about it as much. But this fragrance, if you like woody, dry, you know, everyday fragrances that you'll get crazy compliments for, like, I would literally run after somebody, if somebody smelled like this, to ask them, because I do sometimes. I do like ask people, what are you wearing, because I want to know for you guys to, you know, say somebody smelled like this, and I was like, what is this fragrance? So this is that sort of a fragrance that is mind-blowingly good. Next up, we've got a very strong fragrance, number 2 on this list. I love this on my husband when he wears it every single winter since we got it. Every time I notice, I'm like, yes, he's wearing this again. Love it. Stronger with you, absolutely. This version, it is the bomb. I love that it's got the nuttiness of the Intensely, but it amps it up. It makes it super spicy. This could be a Parfum de Marly fragrance. This has got that woodiness, that piercing woodiness that is in a lot of Parfum de Marly fragrances, but in a designer fragrance. It's super spicy, really sweet, cuts through the coldest temperatures. Even when it's snowing, nothing just kills it in the air. This will still project like crazy. So it will be a great fragrance for somebody who lives in very cold climate and wants a fragrance that doesn't let go of you, that just literally will project everywhere. Such a comforting scent, but really badass at the same time with this woodiness and spiciness. It's like, don't talk to me, don't argue with me, just do what I want. This is that sort of fragrance.
See those little black boxes? They're called telephones. I'm gonna let you on a little secret about these telephones. They're not gonna dial themselves.
And number one on this list, this fragrance is a powerhouse. That's why I love it. I notice when somebody is wearing it, and it's one that is popular but not that popular, so it's a nice in between. It's Oud Satin Mood, the Extrait or the Eau de Parfum version. I've got both, and I think they are both super strong. It's just, what do you want? Do you want a bit more sweetness? Go for the Extrait. If you want a bit more smoothness, I would argue the Eau de Parfum is very good, but they both are this rosy oud scent that smells so high-end. It smells just like velvet, actually, not satin. To me, this smells velvety. It smells like red roses and drinks in a hotel bar. It's very moody lights, and that sort of a fragrance, it just gives you those intriguing love story sort of vibes. It's very romantic, super strong, and that oud is so incredibly smooth. Not an ounce of animalicness in here. It's just buttery smooth. You'll smell super lax with this. You'll get compliments for this because this will just project and everybody will smell you, and it's perfect for the winter time. It literally is made to be a wintry fragrance because it's got that strength and power, and if you smell like this, you'll just smell fantastic. Let me know what fragrance is your favorite for the winter time. What fragrance have you started wearing maybe already, or you're waiting for December? I'll link all of these in the description and samples for them as well, and promise me we'll try FragranceBuy, okay? Promise me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.